Good to see y'all. Let's begin with it's that bare and simple connection to our breath. As we're feeling breath, align skull bones over tail. And feel how those 2 points might effortlessly drift apart. The sit bones, the tailbone by sinking, and the skull bones by buoyancy. We're already attuning to these 2 qualities for the benefit of our perception: gravity, weight, sinking, releasing. And that buoyancy, float, lightness. Lively spaciousness. So I want to start off with something a little different than shoulder shrugs, but a kind of a corkscrewing of the arm and the shoulder joint. And we'll do each side singly before we do our breath work, our pranayama. I'm waiting for a sneeze. All right. So, timing it with the exhalation. So my inhales just release and relaxed. But as I'm exhaling, I'm turning my one thumb down, letting my entire torso turn away from the thumb, almost exposing my shoulder blade to the sky. So I'm really kind of turning around that whole shoulder socket area. It's almost turning the ribs away from the shoulder blade, away from the arm. I'll do it on the other side and we can. So I'm timing this with the exhale. So as I exhale, I'm turning thumb down and then letting the entire torso spiral away from that arm. And as I'm inhaling, I'm just releasing that wound upness. And then exhaling, I'm encouraging that wound upness. Little detail, I'm letting my head and my eyes turn away from my hand, my turning hand. Seems to be a little easier on the neck. Okay. Now I'm going to do the other way that the shoulder can move, which is I'm going to time this with my inhalation. So as I inhale, I'm going to turn my palm either forward facing, skyward facing, and I'm going to turn my chest away from the palm. And as I exhale, I'm just uncoiling and releasing back to center, inhaling. And exhaling, uncoiling. So instead of a static or held chest opening, I just want to get the fluid in the synovia of the joint percolating. I'm going to do the other side. So I'm raising my hand for this one a little higher than the last one. So again, as I am inhaling, I'm turning my palm toward the sky, lifting the chest and letting my head turn away from my hand. As I exhale, I uncoil. All right. When we release the arms down, let's do some pranayama. I'm going to go alternate nostril breathing. And for the meanwhile, I'm going without any breath holds, so I'm inhaling through one side, exhaling out longer. I'm going to go for about an 8-16 count. Right. So, using thumb and ring, thumb closes nostril, inhale 8. Switch, exhale 16. Let's just continue for several moments at our own pace. I think our own pace might be more helpful than any counting or provisions here that I can offer. When you relax your hand down, just resume Ujjayi breathing. We're going to get into the upper back, upper ribs by way of a Mariachasana variation. So straighten the left leg, bend the right, and exhaling, reach the right arm forward. So you already start to get that wrap or that movement of the shoulder blade kind of upward on the rib cage and around the right arm, around the shin. And easing the weight of the head, the neck, and as we release, we'll unwind. Straighten both legs. Palms under shoulders. And exhaling, press the palms down, straightening the arms, moving the shoulders away from the neck. So Dandasana. Engage the quadriceps, spread the foot bones, and in this place, getting a feel for breath in the left and the right side of the ribs, left and the right side of the back. When we release, we'll do the other side, Mariachasana. Bend the left knee, inhaling the left arm up. And then exhale, reach with the left arm. The shoulder blade kind of slides up and around the rib cage. Left arm going around the shin. Your breath needs a body to be experienced. So breath is one of our number one ways to embodiment. And if our breath is home, so too our body becomes home. When we release, we'll just do that repeat move of Dandasana, straightening the legs out. Palms under shoulders. Inhaling, lifting the chest, telescoping the ribs. This is a nice way to feel the telescoping of the ribs and traction. Exhale, push with the palms down. So when we're doing this Dandasana, the sit bones remain on the ground. Not necessarily trying to push my pelvis off the ground, but I'm pushing my ribs away from my hips. I'm pushing my arms to straighten and engage. I'm pushing to engage all those armpit area, shoulder blade area muscles. And similar to yesterday, breathing in and under all of those engaged shoulder muscles. So finding those new ways of breathing deep under the shoulder. And release. We'll lie on back and we'll use a roll or a block, and we'll do this in two parts. First part is letting feet remain on the ground. So the first part is a little hybrid abdominal. So again, with these lying abdominals, it's a breathing, and it's a very gut-centric massage or manipulation So inhaling with the feet on the ground, breathing into the low ribs, in the low back, so it's a little abdominal breath, it's a little bit of that low rib breathing. And then pausing, holding the breath, squeeze the legs into that object. So the legs can be felt in an even more heightened or enriched way. Exhale, float the head and the shoulder blades off the ground. And as I'm lifting, just lengthening out through that upper back. We can draw the belly down. Inhaling, letting the abdomen release a little bit, allowing the head and the neck to move back down to the ground. Through practicing abdominal and low rib breathing, squeeze the object, and then exhaling as you lift the head up a little bit. I think one of the benefits of lifting this up is the unflaring of the ribs helps you maintain connection to the backside of the diaphragm. The middle of the back, the low back. We'll do two more like so. Inhaling, setting the head down. Can you feel your breath in the somewhat softish abdomen? Can you feel the breath in the lowest ribs expanding? Squeeze the object. Exhale. A little lift off. Draw the belly down. We'll do one more like so. Inhale. I'm using my hands on my head to very gently find space, ease all the way up to the brain stem. So I'm just very gently coaxing to feel that difference between my spinal cord. Squeeze the object, exhale, lifting up. And the bones that surround it and protect it. All right, inhaling when we set the head down. Move the knees over the hips and exhale, straighten the legs toward the sky. Same rhythm, same pattern, different leg position. Inhale into the low back, low ribs. Squeeze object. Exhale. Little float up. So kind of joining the exhalation motion and the rib motion, the ribs down motion. Sink the belly in. Inhale. If I'm breathing into the abdomen and the low ribs, my ribs don't really flare or leave the ground so much. Squeeze object, exhale, float. Squeeze with the legs, lighten everything around the brain and the neck area. Draw the belly down. Inhale the head down. We'll do two more like so. How about we go at our own pace? I might be going a little slower or faster than you want to. So last two on your own. We might as well hang on to the roll. We'll turn onto a side. I'm turning onto my right side for lounge lizard. Okay, so I'm setting up the right ankle, hip, and hand in a line, and I've kept the roll between the legs. Just seemed like the easy thing to do. And in this way I can breathe into this area above the hip bone, the waist, the lumbar, the thoracolumbar tissue in the back. So there's a really neat kind of spreading motion we can achieve for ourselves in the back by slightly internally rotating the legs. Because it winds up this lumbar, this backside tissue, just a little bit is a pretty cool, powerful move. If you feel a little winding up on the backside, near the sacrum, near the spine, near the hip, just keep checking in with the jaw, the mouth, the neck. All right, we'll release this side. We'll switch sides. So oftentimes when we're, putting our hands on our hips, we can motion and traction the spine vertically. And this is different than that, right? When I use this roll and engage the legs, and I can engage a little bit of a spiraling or internal rotation, I'm spreading the tissue a different way than vertical, kind of spreading the tissue away from the spine, laterally away from the spine. So maybe you can feel that little hint of it's a different kind of a decompression in the low back, in the sacral area. All right. So, done with that. Let's get a little bit of shoulders and neck in our lives, right? We kind of do things in and around the sacrum and that gorgeous nerve plexus and all those fibers surrounding, holding those nerves, those bones. Let's gift that space to the brain, the neck, and all that rest of our spinal fluid. So we'll set the elbows under the shoulders. And exhaling, and press the knees off the ground. When we began our practice, we used the tail and the skull as 2 points by which to measure our sense of space and movement in the body. Again, these two areas are so rich. The nerve plexus of the sacrum, the brainstem area, neck, skull, brain area of the head. And now the work is different, but can you feel these 2 points, these 2 places, drifting, shifting apart from one another? So I have these 2 sensory-rich areas through which to measure, calibrate movement, spatial movement. I'm saying spatial movement, right? Our body, our bones and our blood, they move in a quality of space. It feels different than when we move our legs a certain way, to move our sit bones in a certain direction. That sounds a little odd or contradictory. Let's try something else. We've got 4 more breaths that we can play here in dolphin. So you can feel the difference if we take these next 2 breaths to move the sit bones away from the skull bones, and to feel the skull bones hanging, like there's that weight, there's that gravity, there's that release away from the sit bones. And second, here's the other part of the experiment. What if we were to feel the space between the sit bones and the skull bones expanding, moving our bones, informing our frame? Right? And then gently we can release and exit. So depending on to what we attune, maybe our experience of our body shifts. Right? So we can keep playing with this. Let's stand at the top of our mat. We'll scoop up some of where we left off yesterday and just keep moving the ball forward, as it were. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step the left foot back for lunge, the knee down, the top of the foot down. Place the hands down, exhaling, step the right foot back, lowering all the way down, belly to earth. Now press the tops of the feet down here, 2. Inhaling, cobra. Stretching the legs back. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale the left foot forward, lunge, setting the right knee down, the top of the right foot down. Hands to ground, exhaling the right foot forward, fold. Inhale, stand, reaching arms overhead. Exhaling, hands to heart. So again, just some details. Some additions. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. So this time as we inhale the right foot back for lunge, set knee down, get top of right foot down, and then exhaling, press the knee away from the ground. If that's not right for the foot or ankle, just press to the degree that you can engage that entire right leg. Using the arms, if they're up, to lift and lengthen through that front side. All right, setting the knee down, the hands down, exhaling, chaturanga, step back, and lower down. Legs reach back, inhale, cobra, lengthening the abdomen from the thighs. Exhale, downward dog. Lunge, inhale, right foot between hands. Setting left knee down, top of left foot down. Exhaling, press that left foot down. Knee lifts. Perhaps the hands reach up. And setting the knee down, exhaling the hands down, stepping forward, folding. Inhale, stand, reach arms up. Exhaling, hands to heart. Chair. Inhale, bend knees, reach arms overhead. Sinking the sit bones down, reaching the arms up. Exhale, fold. Monkey, inhale, lift collar away from lap. And exhale, we'll step or lightly jump back. Inhale, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. We'll take 4 additional breaths here. And we'll just do that, perform that similar experiment from before. With 2 breaths, feel for moving the bones and the muscles of your body. Move the sit bones away from your skull bones. And if that means stretch and move the muscles, if it means engaging or releasing muscles, pressing one away from the other. And then with 2 more breaths, calibrate, attune to the space between the tailbone and the skull bones. Does your sense of that space feel different in your body? Inhale the right foot forward, reverse warrior. So it's a warrior 2 stance, right? We're exhaling the left hand to the left thigh, right arm lifts, reaches overhead. Inhale, bring that arm up. Now when we set the hands down on the ground by the right foot, we're going to set the left knee down. Easy, twisting, lunge. So keeping the left hand down, exhaling, raising the right arm, lifting the right arm up, turning, opening up the chest to the right. Bring right hand to right thigh. Inhale. Push. Push with the right hand. We're moving into a twisting extended lunge. Reach the left arm forward. Exhaling, hook that left arm over the right thigh. Left hand fingertips go to the ground. The right arm reaches overhead. And inhale, unwind, hands under shoulders. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. All right, reverse warrior. We'll do those few things other side. Inhale the left foot forward. And for reverse warrior, we're exhaling the right hand down, the left arm up. There it is. Sunrises all across the nation. So wonderful. Staying with the breath. The breath is home. The breath helps the body become home. Many, many returns. Many, many returns. Yeah. Just subtle little pressure or position shifts of the feet can help that left side, that back lumbar area feel like you're getting a little spreading motion or spreading activity. There you go. And overall, I think it's a move we can and ought to be rather gentle with it, that fibrous and innervated tissue there. All right, inhale the left arm up over. So easy twisting lunge. We'll set the hands down, the right knee down. Exhaling the left arm up. Turn. There we go. Full excursion. Excursion, that way the lungs kind of move and slide inside those ribs, the way the ribs move and slide under those muscles. So part of this dynamic and physical way of breathing is to maintain that sliding, gliding relationship. Because every night we go to sleep, we get into those deeper, deeper realms of sleep. There's a lot of cells that go to work and make networks, bridges, cobwebs, fuzz, connectivity. All right. So inhale, bring the left hand to the left thigh. Push a little bit. Reach that right arm forward. I don't have to come all the way up. Exhale, twisting extended lunge. So I'm hooking this right armpit over the thigh. Hand can go to ground. Left arm reach overhead. Now I'm not just mashing my shoulder into whatever position. moving that right shoulder, pulling with that arm bone against the thigh, so my shoulder doesn't just get smashed in there. And release. Inhale, unwind, hands under shoulders. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhaling, downward dog. All right, inhale the right foot forward. We'll bring the hands to the inside of the leg, inside of the leg. And just like we did yesterday, we're just motioning and starting to move toward scissors. But here's the thing, I really want you to keep the feet on the ground so it becomes more of a supported splits move. So I just start by tucking the right arm under the right leg. And maybe that's perfectly adequate for some of us. Great. Remain here. If I'm keeping my feet on the ground, I start to walk them apart. And then I pivot on my back foot. So this ends up being quite a deep lunge, but I'm not stretching. I'm pretty active. I'm pushing with the legs. It's like a mock. We'll call it a mock scissors. But I'm very much using my feet. So I'm pretty strong through the hip flexor. Again, I'm not letting my weight just plunge down into those tissues. All right. Now we can wiggle out of there. So use your hands, use your feet, kind of wiggle out. Because we're moving to vertical splits. So with the hands, now in front of the right foot, exhale, raise the left leg and reach. Same strong move of the legs. So now my left foot's not touching anything. There you go. Some days you're going to love and want to feel just like you can just stretch things a little bit. And then there's going to be days where you don't want to feel like you're stretching your tissues. So it's just nice to have in the toolbox ways of working and opening the structure without having to kind of lean in and stretch it. So I just think it's just a nice alternative to putting weight in our tissues. All right, let's do the other side. Inhale, the left foot down. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. And exhale, downward dog. And there's nothing wrong with stretching, of course, right? When we hold stretches, we can be getting a really great chemical benefit. There can be a lot of endorphins and repair-like signaling molecules. So it can be just a wonderful, wonderful feeling to stretch. Inhale the left foot forward. So we'll set up that not quite scissors. Okay, and so just two options, 2 steps, 2 options. One, I can tuck my left arm under my thigh, and maybe that's where I just want to be. 2 is I start to walk the feet apart, but keep them on the ground today. So it's a powerfully supported, not splits. Okay, eventually I have to pivot onto the right forefoot. I am holding myself with my hands just so I don't slip downward. But you can walk those feet out quite a bit, pressing with the feet. There we go. Yes, yes. All right, and then use hands, use feet, just kind of getting our feet under us a bit for vertical splits. So I just kind of gather all my limbs underneath my center of mass. Now vertical splits. Inhale, the hands forward, the right leg up. Same strong move. Exhaling, press through the ball of the right foot, the forefoot. All right, inhale, we'll set that right foot down. Exhaling, chaturanga. I'm going to move through the rest of this sun salutation. Inhale, upward dog. Push through the tops of the feet and lengthen through the front of the body. Exhaling, downward dog. Inhales, let's step or lightly jump the feet forward. Monkey. Exhale, fold. Chair. Inhale, bend knees, reach arms up. And stand, exhaling, hands to heart. All right, when we lie back, I'll recommend we go shoulder stand and Shavasana. And there might be one of us or some of us that need to alter or omit shoulder stand. I won't talk through the variations. I hope you do know them. So shoulder stand, as long as everything is fine on the neck and those upper nerves. Raise the feet, the hips, and then support the hips in the palms on the triceps. And before I start too heavily breathing into this microphone and shoulder stand, get weird. Take that off. Okay, shoulder stand. So if you are not doing shoulder stand, maybe an alternate is straddling the legs, folding, hanging the torso between the legs. So when we wait with this shoulder stand, do you feel or notice when the pressures in the upper chest and neck and head, do they correspond to a change in your breathing, your respiration, your rhythm, your pace? When we exit out of shoulder stand to Shavasana, we can move our toes toward the ground, so folding legs toward torso. And I really wish I could communicate this as well as possible. Leave the head on the ground. Put your arms on the ground so that you can have a bracing and a slowing effect as the torso rolls down. Resist the urge to rubber band or rocking chair fling out of your plow or shoulder stand. A lot of people will just kind of let the weight of their legs throw their weight forward, and their rocking chair, and then all the muscles of their neck get really ratcheted tight. But if we leave the head down, we can unfurl the spine, and we can have some play with the spinal fluid, the dura, the spinal cord, the discs. And when you set yourself down in this way, leaving the head down, letting the spine touch the ground, you might be more apt to attune to the pulse of that cerebral spinal fluid, those nerve plexus at the sacrum and the neck area. I just want you to have a really sweet sense of all of you. Shavasana. And letting the body breathe as it does. One of the things I would recommend, if you have the time to be with the experience of pulsation around the spine or the spinal cord, when you have the time, if you have the time, to simply lie and hang out with that. However, the rest of your day needs you, and you must move at this time. We'll bend knees. We'll turn to a side. Use the hands to press up. Again, just so we don't have to tighten down around the spinal fluid. Might still be kind of in that ocean of intelligent fluid motion. Namaste. All right, day.